One Earth, 7 seas, 7 continents, 196 countries, and almost 8 billion people. And somehow I was lucky enough to find love. The kind of love you know is forever. If you've ever wondered what is the meaning of love, or don't believe in love, or you do believe in love but are struggling to find it, this video is for you. Growing up in the USA, I realized very early on that the kind of romantic love that I wanted was most likely not going to happen for me in the USA. Now, that is for me, but for someone else, it might be a perfect place to find that one true love. I've had 2 failed relationships, multiple heartbreaks, and countless tears. Sometimes feeling anger, sometimes feeling hopeless, sometimes alone, and sometimes desperate. When you fall in love again, you fall in the same old patterns. Butterflies in the stomach, waiting for that text, waiting for their touch, longing for their kiss. Love is a strange thing. But love is also great. Love is glorious. Love is a mystery, and yet it is the obvious. Love is life. Somehow you feel superhuman when you are in love. You're happy, but you're afraid, hoping that this time it's a forever kind of a love. By the time I was in my late 20s, I realized that the American dating culture is very different than any other country that I had been to. There were 3 things which I realized were missing in the dating or relationship culture here in the USA. And those 3 factors are sort of the glue that bonds the type of relationship that I wanted. Love didn't come easy for me, like they show in Hollywood movies. 2 romantically challenged characters meet, realize they're destined to be together, encounter a series of problems meant to separate them, but by the end they'll be wrapped up in each other's arms. The end. That doesn't happen in real life, and if it did, I can say for certain that it's a recipe for a disastrous relationship. One thing I've realized through my young adult life is that long-lasting love is quite the opposite of the Hollywood version of love. When I was lost and I was jaded and I had given up my hope on finding love, I was severely heartbroken and I was depressed. I escaped from my family and my friends, and I went to go live with a very close friend of mine in Los Angeles for 2 months. She's Italian, who's married to a German. Spending 2 months with them, I saw my ideal love come to life. Their interaction was very different than anything I had seen growing up here in the USA. It seemed effortless, it seemed free, it was full of respect, independence, and selfless, and also caring, all at the same time. That's where I learned that to find that one true love, it all begins with you. Integrity is such a simple concept, but we make it complicated. Integrity is the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles, moral uprightness, the state of being whole and undivided. One of the biggest lessons that I learned after my second failed relationship was that integrity is the most important part of a relationship. In order to have a relationship with integrity, I realized that I needed to have self-integrity, that I needed to live with integrity in order to foster integrity in a relationship. We can think of self-integrity as ethics that we apply to our own selves. Loving your quirks, loving your body, loving your mind, loving your past, your present, and your future goals. Growing up in Los Angeles, I grew up with a filtered version of myself. These versions were dictated by the media, by social media, by the culture around me. When we live a filtered version of ourselves, we project that to others. Now imagine 2 people meeting to build a relationship and both are living a filtered version. They're only getting to know a fragment of each other, and at that, most likely a false representation. Integrity is absent from the beginning, so the foundation of this possible relationship is based on white lies. Integrity in a relationship is to be honest with yourself and to tell the truth even when it may harm you. Most of the couples that I know here in the USA who are going through struggles have a common thread. They have too many expectations from their spouse. And the single ones have too many expectations from their non-existing or a possible future partner. I asked one of my single friends recently what she is looking for in a relationship. Her answer didn't include any traits of a person, but instead she talked about her schedule, her timeline, when she wanted to get married and by what age she wanted to have a child and when she wanted to buy a house. I think with the society that we live in today, especially here in the USA, a lot of people have become victim to individualism. Me, myself, and I, looking for a partner to fulfill a role in the story of their life. Instead of trying to force yourself or your partner into a fully scripted role of that perfect relationship, perhaps we should focus on letting go of our expectations and dependence on our partner for affection, for validation, and not to use them to fulfill an agenda. These roles create unrealistic expectations, and when our partner fails to fulfill our expectations, it leads to disappointment, and then we feel betrayed. Love which is not based on expectations cannot be betrayed. Betrayal is only possible when an exchange is expected. At the end of the day, I feel humans are humans. We are not perfect, and any person we fall in love with will not be perfect. And by expecting your partner to fulfill your idea of a perfect relationship, we don't allow ourselves to accept people as they are. Instead, if we focus on their character and then combine that with acceptance, the love will go a long way and continue to grow in a relationship. I wish my husband was like my ex. He was so much more affectionate. If only my wife was like her, I would not be bored in this relationship. When I hear these statements from people, it makes me sad. It makes me think, why are they in a relationship with that person? A few months ago, we were out at brunch with a friend and his fiance. The conversation somehow turned into our past, and he said, my ex was an animal in bed and nothing can come close to her. You can imagine the awkwardness it created at the table, and needless to say, 3 months later, she left him. There's an old saying that goes, comparison is the thief of joy. The moment you start comparing your partner to another relationship is a moment you choose to be unhappy. Your spouse is not your ex, and they're not your friend's husband or wife or boyfriend or girlfriend. They are unique with their own set of experiences and beliefs. Love is recognizing each other, to celebrate each other, to uplift each other, making someone know that you see them and that you appreciate them. Loving someone means you make them fall more in love with themselves than more in love with you. The wonderful thing about love is that we all have our own definition of love. Let me know your thoughts on love. Let me know your definition of love. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.